Right on our doorsteps here, it is slowly moving into the Gulf of Maine as it expected to make landfall across portions of western Nova Scotia. It is a post-tropical storm at this point, but still packing quite a punch here. Here's that severe storm risk again. The whole state is under a level 1 out of 5 on the severe storm scale. And here's a look at our main threats. Again, we're going to be looking at that chance mainly for hail, strong winds, and heavier. By the time we get into tonight, it'll feel like the single digits to possibly even teens below zero with that wind chill factored in. And that's 26 degrees right now in the Bangor area, 32 down towards the coast, around 20 up towards Millinocket, and 25 in Waterville. Winds are going to be out of the south today, so that's going to help usher in some warmer air, at least high pressure that's going to be quickly moving in and out of here. And then we have an upper level piece of energy that's going to slide through this afternoon, increase that cloud cover, and bring in the chance for some isolated rain and snow showers. But a closer look at some of these bands, you can see those deeper blues. Some of these bands throughout the day today could approach 1 to 2, maybe even 3 inches per hour at some points. This forecast, as of now, still remains on track. Here's a look at those snowfall totals by the end of this storm system. We could be looking at around 3 to 6 inches along the immediate coast there before that change over to rain. 6 to 10 in the Bangor area, Waterville, and Augusta. Heavier amounts further north and west. We're going to begin to feel some of those stronger wind gusts mixing down through the morning. So the worst of the winds have yet to come. They'll be ramping up over the next couple of hours here. We could be expecting gusts between 50 to 60 miles per hour, at least in the Bangor area and along the interstate of Mount Katahdin behind me here. You can see the snow on top of the mountains, and most importantly, not a cloud in the sky. You know, we got here early this morning. It was actually a pretty, secluded area. Not many people were here, but as the day went on, we continue to see it filter in. Now we have multiple...
They said it right there. Looking at some pretty solid weather for the eclipse.
Yeah, it's looking absolutely gorgeous. Today we were stuck in the clouds for most of the day, but then just a couple of hours ago, those clouds began to break apart. We have a high pressure system that's building in, and that's what's
very festive.
Yeah, I feel like we're feeling the luck of the Irish today.
A little concerned about this green tie you have on, though.
I don't know if this is going to disappear once I go over onto that green screen, but
bear with us.
We'll find out in due time.
Okay.
But well, we've cleared out nicely just a couple of hours ago, and we're going to stay nice and calm through the overnight. We're looking at partly cloudy to mostly clear skies, some lighter winds, and that's going to allow our temperatures to cool a little bit more effectively here. So we're getting cooler than we have the past several nights. We're dropping down into the upper 20s to the lower 30s, 33 degrees in Rockland, 31 in Bar Harbor, around 29 in Bangor, and around 27 degrees up towards Millinocket and Holton. Now looking ahead at our future radar, thankfully, we don't have really anything to track out here, which is the complete opposite of what we've been dealing with for the past several days. We're just looking at nice clear skies. By the time we get into tomorrow morning, though, you do notice some of these white spots. That is some low-level cloud cover that could be filling in for the early morning hours across portions of northern Maine. But once that sun rises and it gets the heating of the day, that's going to help erode away at that cloud cover, and we are going to be nice and clear by the time we head into tomorrow afternoon. This is around 3 p.m., not a cloud in sight. I wouldn't be surprised if there was still some fair weather, light, puffy cumulus clouds trying to stream in from the north, but nothing that would be able to obstruct our view from the solar eclipse. And we are going to stay nice and quiet as we get into Monday night, staying nice and clear, and temperatures tomorrow are also going to be potentially the warmest of the entire year. So we're looking at temperatures reaching the mid to upper 50s in most spots, and then we're also looking at a few areas along the 95 corridor where we'll be touching the lower 60s for our highs. 63 degrees in Bangor, 61 in Waterville, 62 in Augusta, and then up north where we're all going to be heading, we're going to be looking at 60 in Millinocket, 59 in Holton, and around 55 up towards Greenville. So plenty warm by Maine standards. Now here's a look at a little play-by-play of what it could look like if you are in the path of totality to the solar eclipse timeline. Well, partial eclipse begins at around 2:20 into the afternoon. So that's when the moon is taking a little bit of a chunk out of the sun slowly but surely as it leads up to totality. Now this, the partial eclipse, is when you're going to need to be wearing your solar eclipse glasses. It's not until the moon completely blocks out the sun that you're able to safely remove those glasses and look at the sun with the naked eye. And then we'll actually be able to see the sun's outer corona. That's the outer atmosphere of the sun. That's what everybody really wants to see during these eclipses. And that solar eclipse totality starts at around 3:31 one in the Millinocket area, and it lasts for about 3 minutes and 32 seconds. So it's going to be, a very short amount of time, so you do want to be prepared to put them back on as soon as that moon slides off out in the distance, because then the sun could burn your retinas, and that could lead to some damage. Now, some fun facts about totality here. So as that moon covers the sun, we are going to notice several things. We're going to notice the skies darkening, but we're also going to notice the temperatures dropping a little bit. It could drop as much as 3 to 5 degrees in that span of around 3 minutes. So it could feel a little bit cooler out there. And then if you're also thinking, maybe I can chase that shadow, that umbra, well, you're sadly mistaken, because even at the equator, it's traveling at around 1,100 miles per hour. And then by the time it reaches the poles, it's traveling at about 5,000 miles per hour. And here in Maine, it could be traveling around 3,000 miles per hour by the time that moon's shadow passes over us. So I don't think anyone's going to have any luck trying to chase that. But outside of the eclipse and outside of the beautiful weather, we are still looking out ahead to the end of next week, where we're potentially looking at another rainstorm. Now, the good news with this is it cuts to our west, so that puts us on the warmer, rainier side. However, the bad news with it is that it is going to create a tight pressure gradient that leads to the potential for some of those strong southeasterly wind gusts that could lead to the potential of some coastal flooding. And then also with all that rain and the snowmelt, could lead to some areas of inland flooding as well. So we'll be watching that thread over the next several days, but at least through Tuesday, we're going to be dealing with beautiful weather, plenty of sunshine, temperatures in the 50s and 60s, and then as we get to Wednesday through Friday, that's where we're looking at that unsettled weather pattern returning, temperatures dropping back down to around average into the 40s and lower 50s. Connor?
I have to say, I know I said it a little bit yesterday.